Right. My dog. Yeah, stuck on here. How do I transfer money from Bitcoin and Cash Apps? That's not hard. Can you go with SPX trade from last night? Yeah, I'll do that. I will do that. All right. Um, anybody got the? No, I think Brian posted the info in there. So setting the alerts. That was the first question. So it's a couple of ways you can do it. I if you want to go. Let me see what's going on. Why is this not coming up? Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. So setting the alerts. So usually I set my alerts based off of whatever my alert level is going to be. You can do it based off of this line or the price, either way, right? And if you have one of the paid versions of it, you can set multiple alerts, but just know if you have the free, you can only set 1 to 2 alerts per per alert. So just kind of understand that. And then if you okay, cool. If you guys want to do the quickest way is just set the alert based off of the price level, because most of the time you're going to be basing your trade off this level anyway. And I also recommend like base it off of the time frame. So if you're going to be looking for an entry on a 15-minute chart, that's where you want to set your alert from, right? So if like say for instance, if I'm looking for a break of this level right here, I want to see it on a 15-minute chart. So when I right click on this, I can add the alert on the horizontal line, right? And I want to know if I'm looking for a buy, I usually do crossing up, right? So that way I know that it's actually going above the line. And then I'll do once per bar, set an expiration date and time. If I'm expecting this to happen within the first day or between now and tomorrow, I'm gonna set it here, and then give it a date and time. And then also I'm gonna be looking to like add a note or a message right here, so that way I don't so that way I can have like some kind of explanation of what I'm looking for. Buy on break and close above, right? And that's it on as far as the alerts go. And then you can do a price alert too. Add price alert here. Of course, you can do crossing up or above or below, whatever the case is. Well, since we below it, let's do crossing down every time. Set the expiration date, and then sell breakout below, whatever the price is. That way you don't forget what you did and why you did this alert. Because a lot of times you just kind of go brain numb. You don't even remember like why you put this alert in. So you kind of want to put some notes on it or whatnot, so that way you can get it in. That answer your question, Brandy?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I figured I was doing something wrong, but I couldn't figure it out. So this helps, and I can go back and practice.
Oh, no problem. And then one last thing I'll show you is if you like using this higher high, higher low alert, another thing that's cool that you can do is you can set alerts based off of this indicator. So like say for instance, you want to get an alert when it makes a higher high or a higher low. or lower high or low or lower low. If you want to get a certain alerts based off of that, which is really cool because I it'll give me the chance to like make a decision, you know, if I want to take a buy or something at that rejection or sell at the rejection, you can right click on that, add an alert based off of this, right? And you can say like, if I want to make the alert based off of a higher high, anytime I make a higher high, you know, I can get an alert off of that, you know, or a lot of times, you know, if you want to get it based off of higher low or whatever the case is, you can just click on condition, higher high, lower low live indicator. Then you can switch. Okay, then you know you can switch to whether you want it to be a higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, whatever the case is, and set your alert based off of that. So you'll get an alert anytime you get a higher high, higher low, and you can check like these are some of the ones that I have, right? So I want to know whenever I see or hear Ripple get higher high, a higher low, and it's oversold, you know, send me an alert, and I'm going to be looking for a vector pattern at this alert, right? That way, you know, it's going to give you this warning, continue anyway, whatever the case, right? So whenever Ripple makes a higher low, right, like it did right here, this green, the fact that it's highlighted green, that means that it's not only did it give me a higher low, but it also gave me a higher low and it's oversold. So that's a higher odd that I'll get a buy out of this situation right here. Just like this low, like the difference between this higher low and this higher low is this one is oversold. This one isn't oversold, but this low right here is oversold. So you can set it so that you can get an alert when you get a higher low. That's just a regular higher low, or a low that's overbought, oversold, just like this is a high that's oversold, overbought. So that's a cool thing you can do as far as the alerts go. Like, you know, I like to kind of do that just so I'll know, like when I get one of these kind of buying opportunities right here, I can just get the alert, review it, see if it's something I want to get in, and I can just take the buy from there too. So it's a good little trick. Yeah, it's a game changer, man. Like I love using this, especially when I'm looking for like reversal setups. So cool. So that was that question. Let's see. That was that question. How you transfer money from Bitcoin and Cash App. So I don't use Cash App to do it, but from my understanding with Cash App, once you purchase the Bitcoin, Terrence, you'll need to get your Bitcoin, your Bitcoin key, your address key, which should be in the app. Once you have that available, you'll need to copy that, right? And you'll need to know how much you're going to be transferring into the Osprey account. From your Osprey account, there should be a deposit. There should be a deposit option under Osprey. Yeah, there is a deposit option. And under that deposit option, it's going to ask you, you know, how much you want to transfer, how much you want to deposit or withdraw or whatever the case is. And you're going to put the amount in and then copy that address from your Cash App. And that will initiate the transfer. That's a simple way I could do it to explain it. But, you know, inside of Osprey, there's a withdrawal and a deposit. And that will walk you through the steps. You'll just choose Bitcoin for your deposit or withdrawal type, and then you will just need to have the address from your Cash App. I use BitPay, so to do all my Bitcoin transactions. So I don't know exactly what it looks like in Cash App because I never used it before, but it should be something that simple. That's cool, Terrence? Yeah.
Are you saying yeah to me or the other person?
I didn't hear what you said now.
Oh, I said, does that work for FX Choice too?
Yeah, I ain't for FX Choice.
Huh?
There's going to be a deposit. There's a withdrawal and deposit under FX and big or deposit tool. And then you're going to make sure that you have the address from your Cash App or whatever your coin provider is, you know, whether you use Bitcoin, BitPay, Coinbase, Cash App, any one of those or any other ones, you're going to make sure that you got to make sure you have your address key to get and transfer it, you know. I don't use Velo at all. To me, I just feel like it's just too extra step. It's quicker for me to just use like a Coinbase wallet, a coin wallet, Coinbase. Like I would recommend using one of those. Coinbase, BitPay, Cash App is cool. It's just easier because you, for one, when you have BitPay and you have Cash App, you have a card attached to those, so you can like transfer your Bitcoin and convert it into cash, and then you can just, you know, use your card, your BitPay card or your Cash App card, and just use it right then and there. So I would probably recommend those two. What kind of questions will you be able to answer? Anything, Terrence? I'll go over the trade from last night. I didn't hop on that session. I was it was like 4 a.m. over here. I tried to stay up, but I couldn't. What's the longest you can hold a trade? There is no limit as to how long you can hold your trade. There, as long as you want to, if you are able to hold a trade, you'll be able to hold it. If you're in profit, you can continue to hold it forever if you wanted to, you know. But if you're not in profit, you're gonna only be able to hold it until your account reaches a margin, and then that's when you'll get a margin call, and your broker will take you out of the trade automatically. So it's supposed to be to protect the account. Cool, Keisha? Yeah. So as long as you're in profit, you can just keep as you keep holding it. Those swap fees, they'll be taken out of your total profit whenever you decide to close out the trade, but you can keep doing it. Stella says, what and how many confirmations you have to enter a buy, sell, and can you show an example? Sure thing. So for me, I live mostly on a 4-hour chart. Like I like the 4-hour chart. Like that's where I get the direction from. And then I get my entries off the 15, the 5-minute or the 1-minute chart, depending on like what chart I'm looking at or what am I looking for, right? But let's look at GU. Let's look at GU. So if I was looking at GU, I think it rejected that high, right? If I'm looking at this, right, one thing I'm looking for, if I'm, let's say I'm looking for a sell right here, I'm looking for wick rejection, exhaustion, price exhaustion, right? Whether that comes like in this, like this wick right here, this series of wicks, this is what I would be looking for to look to see if I'm going to take a sell at this point. And I'm seeing this ahead of time. Like I'm looking, I know that I'm coming to a certain point, and if I see that I'm getting exhaustion, like even right here, this probably would have been an initial, like I would have probably looked to enter right here, and I just would have got stopped out in profit at this point. But over here, I would have got, what I was looking for, because I'm trying to see that at a certain level, this is a break and retest right here. It broke structure down here. This is like a higher time frame break and retest right here, but it's retesting this structure right here, right around this area. So if I'm looking for a rejection right here, I want to see that I get price exhaustion, right? Seeing that I'm getting wicks, wicks, wicks. And at this point, when I'm seeing this on a higher time frame, I'm dropping down to the lower time frame to look for my entry, right? So let's say, let me go back to this when we do a replay. Let's say we get to this point, right? And once we get to this point, we get this candle right here. Soon as I see this candle, it's a signal telling me like, okay, cool. I'm starting to get rejection, right? And then also along with this, right? What time of the day is this, right? So for me, I look at candlestick, I look at price action, and I look at time of day, right? There's certain times of the day that I'm going to be looking for certain things, right? So if it's London session, I'm going to be looking for a lot of volume. I'm going to be looking for a lot of trading, right? New York, pre-New York session, those are the most, traded hours right there. So I'm going to be looking, is it around like London, pre-New York, New York time frame? And am I getting this good, clean rejection right here? Yes, right? That's one thing, right? So I'm back at this level that it broke out from right here. It broke out from there right here at one point. And now it's coming all the way back around to an area where it sold from right here. And I know it sold from here already once before, right? So now that I see that, this becomes important. I also have a lower high right here too. Indicator also telling me, right? I'm at an area it sold from, I'm pushing up back to that area, and now I'm also seeing wick rejection, right? So all these are lining up, right? All these are lining up to say that this is setting up for another sell opportunity, right? Now, if we press it forward, okay, still, this is still good, right? I got wick rejection, right? Now it's like, when do I enter, right? Where do I enter and when do I enter? What I'm going to be looking for is, now that I see this on the higher time frame, right? I'm dropping down to the lower time frame, and I'm looking for impulse candle to the downside. Because I'm looking for a sell right here, I want to see impulse candles like this that's rejecting, and then engulfing candles right here like that, right? And then if we keep pressing forward on the replay, I'm looking for this candle to at least come and trade in like around 50% of this candle. and I'm trying to take my entry from here. And if I do that, right, this is a little advanced strategy, but I think you guys are cool, right? This is where I would be looking to enter from, right? If we let it replay, I would have got my entry, I would have got my rejection, and I would have got my sell-off. Even if it goes the wrong way, I still would have bagged a decent amount of pips from here. This would have been about 70 pips right here. If I'm trading a breakout, I'm looking for basically the same thing, right? If I'm looking for a breakout and retest, I'm looking for basically the same thing, right? But in this case, I'm looking for a clean breakout, which is right here. I'm looking for a price to come back to the level. Clean breakout on this candle right here. It broke, closed above, right? Price came back down, it and reached back to our level right here. It pierced it a little bit at these candles, but they pretty much held this old high right here. So if it's gonna hold that, I'll still take the buy from here, right? And it did, right? And if we wait, we could have entered on either one of these three candles right here, and you would have hit all your targets up to this point right here. For some more details on this, let me show you a good place you can. I always recommend this because I think that this is going to take you guys a little more than just going over it on this session. So let me show you this video. It's inside of the mentorship. So if you go under resources right here, trading resources, watch this video right here, and then review this chart right here. The chart is right here, the link to the chart's right here, and the video is right here. And then after that, also on the go live, under Kim's, go to her favorite, and then under her favorites, you have these 4 videos. These are what I would recommend that you watch, because I can show you, just the same, but you're gonna probably still have a lot of questions in this video. These 4 videos and this video will tell you pretty much every single thing you need to know. And I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly for a reason, because I'm showing you some good entries, some bad entries, and some just ugly entries. So that way you can see, like, I can show you real quick. So like over here, price alert for us for the buy, but it pushed near and near an area of rejection, right? Which was right here, right? And this was a previous area, right? So would you take this? You could, if you already have, a buy stop in right here. But, if you were to take this trade, it never really broke and closed above until this candle right here, right? And if you wait and take this, this one is already showing signs of rejection, right? So you probably wouldn't want to take this particular setup, right? If you look at this, could you have won this trade? Yeah, but you would at least hit, the first target probably, because this is right around where the first target would have been, right? But the candle that actually broke and closed above was this candle. But even though it broke and closed, the candle had wicks rejecting up here. So those are signs that you probably don't want to take that trade. Is it a good trade? If you get in, get out at the first target, yes. So that's an example of an ugly trade, but it did work, right? Sometimes that happen, right? Sometimes that's good. But if you look at this would have came back if you had got it and waiting for the next candle after this close above it right here, you would have gotten stopped out for a loss because this reversed, right? And it would have gave you, your sell entry right here. This candle is a good entry. Clean. This candle broke out, closed below, right? And broken close our sell. Then you would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities to enter this trade. When this candle broke and closed below, these candles pushed back up, rejected, and sold off, right? You would have hit all your targets. You would have sold this and you wouldn't have had any drawdown, right? Then this example right here. This example, if we were going to buy the break of this little structure right here, this candle broke and closed, this candle broke and closed, right? But this candle came back, rejected, and retested our level. We would have been getting in on this candle. We would have hit all our targets on there. So I would definitely recommend you guys review this chart and watch the video that's associated to this. And that video is in here again. And then on the Go Live, watch these 3 videos. This one's over trading journals, so still watch this one too. But these 3 are talking about how to mark up, how to enter the trades, and how to find your daily, monthly zones, all that good stuff. That's all in these 3 videos. And then that's also going over entry and exit setups as well. And then this is going over marking up and entry and exit setups as well too. So I think yeah, and even goes over alerts, broker recommendation, how to back test, all that. So it's a lot of stuff in there. So definitely recommend you guys watch that. Mike, okay, I answered that one. Leo, how do you go through the process to access the markets? Any charts to look at trade setups for your trading style? For my trading style, the way that I look at my charts is a little different from a lot of people, but I can go over that really quick. So this is a good sample. So when I mark up my charts, right, and based off of how I trade, these 3 levels, the weekly high, the weekly low, and the opening price of the week are the most important things for me. I'm usually going to take a trade at one of these levels or this level that's called the equilibrium, right? And what I'm doing is I'm using the daily and the 4-hour to decide where I'm going to be trading, right? So this was the last trading day this was Friday, right? And when the market opened up, this is the weekly opening price, and it just so happened to be the daily opening price. So this is the price for the whole week, right? I focus on a couple of things, right? I focus on whether or not price is bullish or bearish for the day and the week. Then I focus on where am I within that day? Am I near a high? Am I near a low for the day or for the week, right? And then that kind of determines how I'm going to trade, right? So If I go over the trade I took today, was based off of the fact that the price opened up for the week and it was dropping. And we know that it was because we got this wick, right? So if we look at the 1 hour chart, when I open up my charts, right, I mainly trade during New York session. So I'm looking at the 3 candles in particular, right? So when I open up my chart, I look at the daily, see what's going on, and then I look at 3 candles in particular. And that is the 1, the 5, and the 9. Those candles are the candles that I mainly take most of my trades off of. And the reason being is because that's when the most volume in the market is traded. You know, you're going to always get outliers, you know, often where you'll get trades around 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., midnight. You will get trades set up during that time, but the higher probability is that you're going to get trade during New York, pre-New York, and London session. So I look at those 3 candles and I determine how I'm going to trade based off of these candles. So if I only looked at these candles when I came in the market, right? Let's say, let me close that out right quick. Let's say that when I came in the market, and when I came in the market and I saw these 2 candles, which direction would you guys be looking to trade just off of these 2 candles right here? And I want you guys to drop that in the chat. Drop that in the chat. Everybody, please. Only one person. Okay. Short, right? You sell, money would sell because of the exhaustion, right? Exactly, right? So if I'm looking at this on a 4 hour, I'm seeing wick, right? Now, I also have this impulse candle to the downside also too, right? I retrace at this point at least almost 50% of this bearish engulfing candle. So that's 2 reasons. Like I got wig rejection, and I retraced 50% of it. So my first idea is that I would be looking to sell. I also know that I am below the opening price for the day, and this is also the opening price for the week. So all that combined, I would say I would be looking to sell. Then the next thing that I would do is look to see what the futures are telling me, right? That's when I'm coming over here and I'm going to Bloomberg and I'm going to the futures right here. And I'm saying, what are these numbers telling me, right? Are they telling me that we're negative, slightly negative, slightly positive? If I'm getting numbers that are really swayed to one side of the market, like if I get a very high negative numbers and I'm near, you know, a high or low, then I'm probably gonna look to sell, right? At the time of the day, the numbers were really negative, and I'd already seen that I was getting this rejection, right? So once I see that, that gives me the logic where the direction that I should go. Then I check Bloomberg. I make sure my numbers on Bloomberg add up. Then after that, I wait. A lot of times I wait for the next 4-hour candle to open up before I get into my trades. But if not, I'm coming to the 15-minute. If I know I'm looking to sell right here and somewhere, which in this case, I was looking to sell today. Let me close this out and I'll show you. This case, I was looking to sell, and I already knew that if I saw price come back near the opening price, which is right here, you can see the opening price for the week is right here. If I knew I got a high or price to come back near this area and I got wick rejection, I knew I could sell it. So in this case, I look for the sell. My entry was 67 over here. And my entry was here, 67 here. And I trade until I get a low, or my indicator says I get a higher high or a higher low from here. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. So I'm trading from higher high or to the next higher low or low or lower low that's here. In most cases, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm trying to do it from the higher time frames a lot of times. So I trade a little different from everybody. So some of the stuff that I'm talking about may not really resonate, but that's how I trade. I look for these kind of things and I'm looking for rejection. I'm kind of more so a reversal trader than I am a breakout trader. I will trade breakout and retest, but I kind of trade based off of the situation. Is it better for me to break and retest right here, or is it better for me to trade the reversals right here? And if so, am I near certain levels or near this opening price, near this high, or am I near this low? Where am I at a given time? And if I'm near one of those, then I'm probably going to look for something different, right? So that was what I traded today. The trade set up for last night was Sunday markups, gold, GJ, UK 100, NAS, US 30, SPX. So 39.52. I'm gonna switch charts. So 39.52. Here. And then the buy is 39.61. Okay, so in this case, looks like the sale was activated right here. That was 1 a.m. So this was after the session. This one, let me look at the target. So the sale was 52, 47, 42, 37, right? Okay, cool. This one was, you just kind of had to jump in this one, right? Because it looks like it didn't give you a good break and retest setup. It didn't really give you a good clean setup. It hit targets 1 and 2. So it's 52, 47, 42. Yeah, so it did go 100 pips in the profit, rejected, and pushed back up. So this one gave you a setup, but would you have been wrong for not taking this? No, this sell, because you would have had to just jump in right here and just sell it from here, right? You wouldn't have gotten a break and retest. Let's see if you would have got it on the 5 minute. You would have got it on the 5 minute, and your entry would have been at 50 flat, and you still would have hit all your targets. But if you were looking at it on 15 minute, that wouldn't have been a clean entry. You would have just had to just jump in that. Even on the 1 hour, you wouldn't have never got in it because it rejected it. So that one, yes and no, that would have been more of an ugly entry. Did it hit target? Yes, and then over here for the buy, you got the buy entry, 61. So the target probably 65. You would hit target 1 right here. You would have got a break here, 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 and you would have hit your target on this one. So you would have got the buy set up right here. That would have been clean. This one, you would have had to just jump in it, and you would have hit all your targets on this. So all the targets on this was 78. You would have hit 2 targets on this. Then you would have hit 3 targets over here. This was the cleanest entry over here, where you could have got in over here. It break. You would have been in drawdown on this, but you could have gotten in over here, but you would have been in drawdown. But if you had just bought here, you would have hit your targets. I think that this probably would have gave you an entry on the 5 minute over here. Yeah, 5 minute entry would have gave you a cleaner entry over here to hit all the targets. And right here, this one would have been a no-go. This one broke, it came back down and rejected. So this one would have been a no-go right here. This one and this one would have gave you your best entries. This one, if you had just jumped in, you would have hit 2 of your targets, but was it the cleanest? No, not really. And then over here for the sell, this hit 1 and almost hit the second target. This one, just because of the way, that's on the 5 minute. Over here, right? This one broke and closed below right here. Push back up, rejected. Maybe I would have took this, but I would have tried to take it from right here instead of down here. Where if I saw this break and close, I would have been looking to sell. Maybe I take it here. If not, if you jump in right here, you're in drawdown. How many pips? You're in drawdown 50 pips, almost 60 pips. But eventually you hit target 1. So that would have been a nice 1-to-1 trade. You would have almost hit target 2. You would have came down to about 80 pips in profit if you closed out when you saw the wick rejection, right? So yeah, everything went good. Everything went good. Can I still get the link later? Have to get off the blue line support and resistance. If yes, what time frame? The blue lines are the area, their structure. So at the time, this was the structure high. This was the structure low. You're going to look for the trade to break out of this support level or break out of this resistance level, and it did on both of those. So that's what I would have been looking for on those trades. Pretty clean trade over here, and then also right here. This setup, and then this buy right here were probably, to me, the best two setups to trade today, unless you just jumped in up here when the market opened. But other than that, those would have been my only trades out of today. Cool. That answer your question, Stella? That did that trick. Oh, Stella might want it more. Okay. Cool beans. Oh, you are on here. Cool. Yeah. Did you take it? Did you take the buy order sale last night? Took the sale, took an L and just watched. Where did you take the sale? You took it around this 1 o'clock candle? Or maybe you took it over here at 4:15. Oh, you took it over here? This one right here? This one at 2:15? Oh, this one right here. Okay. Yeah. That was that one kind of, this one only went, I mean, you went 50 pips in profit though. Now you gotta at least move the stock down to there. You went 50 in though. Even though Kim has already, you being greedy, even though Kim has a relatively high rate of accuracy, how do you approach those setups since the risk reward is not great usually with index? Um, if you do that, the way you want to try to approach them is, um, because it's usually, a lot of times it ends up being a one-to-one situation, because sometimes it goes into drawdown. You typically want to do two things in general, right? One, you got to make sure that the main thing you got to do is make sure that you're not over leveraging. That's usually like the main thing. Like if you're not over leveraging, even if you go down and draw down 100 pips, you should be able to handle that. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, if you take the initial entry, and you go into drawdown, look to do a pop, where you pop another entry, because a lot of times if you look at the pop entry, that's actually, a better entry sometimes, because you'll get a higher entry or a lower entry depending on if you're selling or buying, and it'll give you it'll take you back to profit once you get back to entry, and then two, if you leave that in, it'll give you more pips on your trade. So those are like the best things to do. And if your account can't hold that, then you know if your account can't hold it, then I would definitely recommend just make sure you're using proper risk management, because if you're not, sometimes the drawdown could get you. And like even if you're in drawdown, another thing is, don't close it when you think that you're in too much drawdown. If you don't get to the target and it doesn't, I mean, if you get to stop loss and it doesn't break and close above or below that, don't close the trade out until it actually breaks and close above or below it. So that way, because sometimes it comes to that area and then it just reverses, right? So don't just close it out because you see a certain number of drawdown. Let's say you down $100, and if you don't feel comfortable being down $100 or so, then maybe you need to lower your risk, and under leverage, so, or two, you might need to stick to trading SPX, because that way you can, twin trade on that, Then how would you know where the market was going to go, even if it broke down to the sell side? Was this trade a way better buy? Can you explain that a little more, Jonathan? You can turn on your mic if you want to, too. Not sure.
Hey, Corey.
Hey.
Yeah, I guess the question was, in regards to that was, I know we're on a session with Brian. I know he was going for buys more than a sell. And I guess, what do you go based on to know exactly that the sell really wasn't going to continue to drop and it was going to go up?
Rejection. And then you I don't know if you were on the session earlier, but if you were, I look at 4 hour, right? And like I said, if I was actually looking for the sell more so than I was looking for the buy because of these two candles. And I did end up selling, which it worked out fine. But, in this case, the buy was more. But based off of the news, today, based off of the futures today, it was more leaning towards the sell, right? But in this particular case, you could have sold or buy because it was really just ranging today. Today it was just a little off, because most of the day it spent most of his time in here, right? And most of the trades that you were taking was to either to break out of here or break out of here, right? And if you were going to take the sell, you want to sell or to buy, I will usually know that it's time to get out of the trade once I see that I start getting wicks on either side of the trade, right? If I'm over here, I'm seeing wicks and I'm in a buy and I'm seeing wicks, it's probably time that this is going to be done, right? Down here, I'm getting a lot of wicks. If I'm in the sell from here, I'm getting all these wicks and I can't break down any further. It's probably a sign that this is going to reverse. Just like over here, each one of these times, once I'm seeing the wick rejection, I'm seeing that it's reversing, right? And then even in this case, right, we got to this high, we started to wick and we sold off from here, right? So everything, is about knowing where you are at every time you open up your charts. You got to know, am I near a high? Am I near a low? Am I near an area that's rejected before, right? Has it sold from this area before? Has it bought from this area? So if I took this sell earlier during the day, like Stella said, she took this sell, right? And when she got in this sell, it rejected and reversed, right? So what would you assume would happen once I came back down here, right? So it's tried to sell again and it couldn't come past this either. So if I get in this trade, I'm going to take and lock my profits in sooner than I would if I was at another area before that, because I have already seen that it has the potential to reverse right here, So if I'm in a sell or in a buy, I need to also know where has it reversed at before, right? So those are the main things. Stella says she's being greedy. I am. Brandy says she's on the TP1 diet. I took the cell, but mine hit TP. Thank you, Mr. Corey, for encouraging me to do so. Can you stack orders with indices? Exactly. Yeah, you can definitely stack orders. You can stack orders. There are certain times when I'm gonna stack and when I'm not though. So the trade that I got in today, from here, 67. Well, this, you go back up here. 67. So that trade was here, right? And this trade, right? I was aiming for this, right? But in this, right? This was my first entry right here. I would have been looking to stack if price had came back up here and rejected around this area. And instead of it rejecting and then going back down, right? The price came, it rejected right here. I got in up here. It pushed up like it was going to reject, and then it dropped. It pushed up right here as if it was going to reject around 50%. This is where I would have been looking to add another partial on right here. But when it came up, it didn't make it all the way back up. So I didn't add on to this trade. I just let this one go. And I think I got out at around 45 somewhere. Or I don't remember. It was like 30. It was either 50 or somewhere around here. Right. That's where I would have been looking to add on. And I didn't add on here because at that point I already made profit and I was done for the day. But this would have been a potential area for me to add on right here. And if I had added on to this still went about 100 pips right here. This went 127 right here. And that, but at this time of the day, I'm trying to be done with my trades, right? At that point. So I wasn't even looking at it when it rejected, pushed up, rejected, and then broke. I didn't even see this happen. At that time, I was already done. And after that, I don't care what happens. I don't even want to know what happened up after this. Because I already had 200, 100, 120 something, 150 pips. I can't even remember. Right? I don't want to know what happened because I don't want to be like mad that I missed out a certain, like what I don't want to be sitting around mad I missed out on pips that, like whatever, If I missed it, I missed it. If not, it's all good.
Well, Stacy, you're the host now. Corey's trying to get back on now, y'all. Corey's trying to reconnect now, y'all. Just hit him up.
You want to take host, Chin? We sure you got it.
Sure, let's do it.
Yo, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Hotel Wi-Fi. Let me see. Get back to it. Okay.
I was trying to take over and help, brother.
Oh man, you want to do that? Okay, cool.
I'm just trying to help a little bit till you got back on.
I was in strong support of that.
Oh yeah.
I was like the commercial in between you.
All right. Yeah, man. Okay. So, dang, I lost all the questions. So, don't remember where I was at. But I think the gist of it was, do we pop or when do we add on a stack, right?
Yeah, we
And,
talking about stacking.
Yeah.
yeah. You'll know like when you can stack. Like I said, if you get in at a good high or a good low, or you break in a good breakout, you'll know you can stack when you see that you've broken a new structure or you rejected a new area, right? So if you were in this buy, right, where would you likely stack, right? When I break out above this high, right? If I entered in right here and I break out this old high right here, if I break out and close above this, I'm probably gonna look to buy again once I see that I'm gonna hold this high, because this high was the last high that it's had, right? This is the high as it's been, right? So when I see that I've broken out from a new high and I'm in from right here, I'm probably gonna, take that trade from here, or even here. If it came back to here, broke out and held this, I would probably even add right there too. So those would be, if I got in and broke out of this here, here, when I break above new or old high, that's going to be where I'm looking to add on and stack on at those areas.
Hey, don't do that, Farrah.
Or if I'm trading at this low, if I'm trading this rejection at this low and I see it come back down, come up, push back down and hold an area like this, I'm going to probably add on right here as well. Same way, if it break this high, I'm going to add on right here as well. So that's areas, anytime you see, if you get in and you see that you breaking a new high or you breaking a new low or old low or old high, those are areas that you want to stack on at those areas, but it's got to hold there. And then those are also areas where when you want to move your TP, right? I mean, your stop loss. So if I got in this trade right here and I saw that it broke out above this high, that's when I want to see that I move my stop loss and profit, or even this high. If I was in right here and once price broke this high, I would move my stop loss. Even if I don't move it to break even, I would move my stop loss closer to my entry. So it would look something like this. If I got in this buy right here, and this was my original stop loss right here. Once I saw that it cleared this high, instead of my stop loss being right here, maybe I move it to here. So that way, even if I did lose this trade, and let's say it came and reversed on me or whatever after it broke this high, I'm only going to lose here, right? And let's say it keep going, right? It gets to this high, right? As soon as it gets to that high, I'm at break even. So now, or I'm slightly in profit. I'm either at break even or I'm slightly at profit. So now, or I'm at break even, slightly in profit, or depending on how it's moving, I'm at TP1 already. So that way, if anything goes against me on this trade, I don't take a loss on this. Not so much important to think about if I win or I lose. I mean, if I win or I win big, but more so that I don't lose, right? Then once it breaks and close above this over here, that's when I'm like, okay, cool. I'm at break even. I'm at TP1. Whatever happens, I'm taking a partial up here or whatever the case is. That's how I'm. And at that point, once you break these highs and this high, after that, it's just about managing the trade, right? And either you taking partials or you closing out, TP1, TP2, or whatever the case is. Because at that point, it's a winning trade. If you lose the trade after that, then you didn't manage your trade right. You just didn't manage the trade right. It was a good trade. You just didn't manage it properly. So, yeah. Okay. Guys, got anything else?
Don't forget to hit me up on something we talked about earlier.
Remind me again. We talked a couple times.
Placements.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Hey, Corey.
Yep.
How long are you gonna be gone?
I don't have a return.
Oh, okay.
I don't know yet.
That's goals right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying for a while.
Yeah. What time slot should I be trading with a smaller account? I mean, there's no standard issue answer to that because it just depends on your life You know, like, can you trade during the day? The best time to trade is during London, pre-New York, or New York session. Those are the best times to trade. But you know, it just kind of depends on you. Like, if you can't trade during those times, then and you can only trade in the evening, you know, the best times to trade are, you know, after you get out of work, then you have to find what is trading during those times, you know. So it all kind of depends on which. New York is between the best time to trade in New York is between 7 and noon, and then London is between 1 and 4 a.m. So 1 and 4. And if you forget that, just go to the 4-hour candle, and you basically want to look at the 1, the 5, and the 9, or 1, 5, and 9. Those 3 candles. If you go back and kind of back test this, like I always tell people to do that, so that way you can see it for yourself, right? 1, 5, 9 candle move, right? 1, 5, 9. That was the whole drop for that day. You even got a reverse on that candle as well, right? So you got both of the moves off of this one candle, but these 3 candles set you up. This candle, 1, 5, 9. These 3 candles set you up for this drop. Even right here, 1, 5, 9. You could have got the buy and the sell. These 3 candles set you up for this move right here. You can just go back over and over and over. 1, 5, 9. Bam, that's the buy. 1, 5, 9. This sets you up for the buy and this for a sell and a buy. 1, 5, 9. This sets you up for the sell at the top. If you missed it from the top, the 9 o'clock sets you up for this sell right here, and you can just look at this over and over and over and over again. Now, why does my trading view look so different from yours? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you got on your charts. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm gonna leave that to you to figure out. That is a good question. Maybe your charts don't want them to look like mine. Yours is probably dark, right? You got the black set up, right? With the green candles and got different indicators, so it could be a lot of reasons. With those 3 candles and which way you go are also based on where you are at the time in reference to open, high, low, close. Yes, that's correct. So in this case, this morning, these 3 candles were below the opening price. They were trading near the low. And then we had this bearish engulfing candle. So unless we get this candle at the time to push up above, which we can see it better on the 15-minute, at the time, right? We had already made this move down. We had already made this low. And we were below the opening price, right? And once we traded back up near this area, it needed to either break and close above it, or it break and close above this for me to buy, or it was going to reject, which that's what I traded, the rejection near this price right here. And I traded to sell off down here because I knew I was near the opening price. And if it wasn't going to trade through it, if it was going to trade through it, I wouldn't have got this wick. You see, the next time that it came up here, it traded through it. It traded through it. It even broke and closed above it right here. Right? So even if I had tried to trade it right here, to trade the sell right here, I could have got into it near this high and I still would have went in profit. I would have just not had a big target, right? What indicators do you use for the opening daily price? I don't use indicators for that. I actually go in every day on my chart, and the first thing I do when I open up my chart, which I will do this. This is the opening price. I'll go to the 1 hour or I'll go to the daily chart. On the daily, this is the daily opening right here. This is where this day open up right here. And since I know that, I'm gonna take this and extend it out to the next day. Just take a little line, extend it out to the next day on here. And just to confirm, right, hold the mouse over this. The opening is 3973.73. I'm just gonna go to it. Daily open right there. And if it's bullish, I'm gonna leave it blue. If it's bearish, I'm gonna change it to red just for me. Then that's how I get it. Right now, this is the high up here. I will put the high, do the same thing. Just take my little line, draw it out right here. To confirm it, the high is 3978.4. And that's all I'm doing. I'm manually doing that. There's probably an indicator that you can use that'll do it for you, but I just do it myself. You know, I just do it myself. And now I got my high, I got my low. My high lining up with this old high. It's only missing it by 0.1 pips. The tool that you're using that's counting the pips, that is this one. Counts the pips right here. And then the long and short position, that's right here. Long position for the buy, short position for the sell. You use the long position. You want to place it at wherever your entry is going to be. And then this is your target or whatever the case is. This also tell you the number of pips you got for your target and for your stop loss. And you also can get the risk reward. This case is 1.85. So you get a lot of info out of this, right? And it also, if you can put your account sizes in here, put your risk. If you want to know all of that, it'll actually tell you how much you would make on the trade too. So if you're going to risk 1%, your entry right here, your profit target is right here, your stop loss is right here. If I won this trade, I would be at 51,232. If I lost this trade, I would be at 49,815.8. So that tells you, you know, you can go into detail, right? If I want to do 2%, If I want to do 2% of my total account, let's say here, I'm risking 2% of my account. I'd be at 52,173.1. If I win this trade and I hit all my targets, if I lose the trade, I would be at 49,307.3. And that's at 2%. And you can adjust that all, throughout too. So, wow. What's that purple blue rectangle for the above candlestick? Is that indicator? Yeah, that is. This just tells me, this is the London candle. This is the New York session right here. That's all it is. It just reminds me that I'm trading in London time. I'm trading in New York time. That's all. So most of my trades, I'm going to look for them in here, in these areas right here. That's all.
Hey, real quick, Corey. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I know you said that you look at the daily opening and the sessions and all that. What about the order blocks? I know I've seen you put order block markers as well.
Yeah, I do. But or in the daily order blocks. But like I said, that's a whole long conversation right there. So, yeah. So I don't want to go down that road, but I don't want to go down that road today. But yeah, I do look for the order blocks, but I look for them on daily and 4-hour time frames. One last question concerning New York open candle. Do you try to not be in a trade when the market is about to open? And if not in a trade yet, do you wait for it? It depends on where the market is and like what's going on with it. Because sometimes I don't. My favorite candle to enter on is the 10 o'clock candle, to be totally honest. I like to wait for the 10 o'clock candle because the New York Open, the 9:30 candle, will give you an idea of what direction the market is going to go in. And then usually once you get the direction, the 10 o'clock candle will give you the actual entry. But sometimes that differs, right? Because even though I took this sell from here down to here, you can see if I had waited, I would have been able to get this buy, right? Because the 10 o'clock candle, it did continue to sell off, right? But the 10 o'clock candle also rejected right here. And I would have got the 11 o'clock candle to get me into this buy, right? So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But for me, I was comfortable with taking this sell up here because I knew where I was during this time frame right here. I knew that I was near this high and I had already sold off. So I was looking for this to sell off, reject, push back up and retrace, reject again and sell off even lower. And it held it, right? So, that's kind of what I was looking for. I was looking for leaning more towards the sell. And because everything was negative, we were negative for the day because we were below this line. So that means we were trading negative for the day and the week, right? So that was leaning me towards a sell because I knew if we trade below here, that means that not only are we negative for the day, we're also negative for the week, right? So I was expecting us to keep going down, right? And I also knew that the futures were negative too. The news was negative too. So everything was leaning towards the sell. So that was my reason for taking this. But if I had if I had waited, I would have probably got an entry for this buy. But that's okay. I still made my goal for the day. So How do I clear everything I put on my chart to start fresh? Right here. This right here. Wow, that's cool. When trading futures, that was my favorite candle in time to NXC. So you already know. You already know, Khalil. That's that 10 o'clock candle really is my favorite candle to enter on. Like, you know something wrong with me if I got a favorite candle. You mean my favorite candle is the enter on is that one. That candle has made me the most money. That one right there. And if it's not looking good around 10, there's other candles I'll enter on too. So I'll look at the 1, the 2, or the 2 o'clock candle. I like the 10, the 2, the 10, the 1, the 2. And if I'm trading in London, the 3 o'clock candle, the 3 a.m. candle. So those are the ones. All right. I think I answered everybody's questions. And I think this is still recording. I don't know if it's still recording or not because it kind of went out. Let me check over here. Okay, cool. It came up. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so let me get this recording to you guys. No problem. Oh, okay, so it's the one, if you're looking at Eastern Standard Time, UTC -4 is the 1, the 5, and the 9. UTC -4. Cape Town is amazing. Cape Town is amazing. I can't tell you how much I love this place. I can't even put it into words, man. I am no longer a citizen of America. Yeah, I've been there before. This is like my 3rd time coming down here. So, but yeah, Table Mountain is dope. Table Mountain is dope. All right, let me stop this. I like, I don't have the questions, so I won't be able to drop them in here anymore.
Would they still be under the chat from us?
Yeah, they
So
will
do you want
be.
one of us to just copy it and send it to you?
Sure. But no, you don't have to. You
Okay.
don't have to. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay.
I thought this was gonna be an 8 o'clock night, Corey.
Nah, man. Yeah. No break. No break. I might not be doing pre-New York this week, but I'll be doing it after that. I'm still kind of debating. I'm debating. I wanted to take this week off, but I might go ahead and do it anyway.
It's your passion.
It ain't even about passion. It's want to enjoy yourself a little bit, you know. Fashion or not, you still want to like enjoy yourself a little bit. So
I'll mess with you, man.
yeah. So I'm still debating. You guys will know in the morning. You guys will know in the morning. It'll be 2:00 in the afternoon for me. So, you know, I'll let you guys know before then. If not, um, Brian should be on. So, Brian should be on. But my plan was to take this week off though, but I don't know. I don't know yet. But if not, you know, I'll see y'all on there next week if I don't get on there. Okay. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all probably in the morning, but don't quote me on that. Okay.